I have no idea, but I'm willing to see what's behind door number 3. I'm willing to make a change for change's sake. Because what I've gotten over the last 4 games with Dillon Gabriel is a guy that I have serious questions about whether or not he's an NFL quarterback. Seriously.
So what does Kevin Stefanski want out of this?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whether or not Kevin Stefanski wants to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Because to continue to stay the course with Dillon Gabriel based on the body of work that we've gotten just doesn't make any sense to me. It's nonsensical. Dillon Gabriel is absolutely awful.
A lot of people was wondering what the hell is going on with the Cleveland Browns. Now, I am about to tell you guys what sources has been saying, what people in the media is saying that is currently going on with the Cleveland Browns, and it's just hell freezing over for them. I don't believe Kevin Stefanski is going to be the coach next year. I believe Andrew Berry's definitely going to be there. I don't believe Kevin Stefanski is going to be coaching the Browns next year. Kevin Stefanski is pretty much throwing up the big middle fingers to the Browns organization and the Browns coach.
Picture this. ESPN turns into a full-on roast session, and Canty steps in like he's hosting the main event. He didn't just critique Kevin Stefanski, he obliterated him, turning the Browns head coach into a walking punchline stuffed with bad play calls and broken promises. And all of it sparked by Stefanski's latest cold shoulder towards Shedeur Sanders. Now the entire NFL is tuned in like it's an episode of Hard Knocks Cleveland Chaos Edition. So what lit the fuse this time? Buckle up, because Canty's meltdown wasn't analysis, it was entertainment. Cleveland can't seem to escape disaster. Just when fans think the Browns have hit rock bottom, the team starts digging a whole new basement. This week, Canty stormed onto ESPN like a man on a mission, not to discuss football, but to stage a televised intervention. But instead of sympathy, he came armed with flamethrowers and a laundry list of Stefanski's sins. He didn't hold back one bit. When Canty goes off, it's not commentary, it's a cleansing ritual. He tore into the Browns quarterback circus with zero hesitation, calling it less of a playbook and more of a bad sitcom dressed in shoulder pads. Canty painted the scene vividly. One half of the locker room hobbling around on broken confidence, the other half stuck in total confusion. And there's Stefanski, standing there in denial, pretending everything's fine while sipping Gatorade like it's chamomile tea at a meditation retreat. But it didn't stop there. Canty flipped the spotlight straight onto the field, where Dillon Gabriel is tossing footballs like helium balloons, each one floating around as if it forgot where gravity is. Every throw looks like it's taking the scenic route before finally smacking the turf. Meanwhile, on the sideline, Shadur Sanders is sitting there stone-faced, like a statue built out of wasted potential and broken promises.
When you got the optics of your best player slamming his helmet on the sideline after Gabriel goes out there and throws 2 brutal interceptions in the second half of that game that effectively seal your fate, at some point something has to change. And it boggles my mind that Kevin Stefanski is adamant about sticking with Dillon Gabriel after the bye week, after we've seen the quarterback throughout the course of his first 4 starts rank dead last in yards per pass attempt, yards per dropback, air yards per attempt, and have the second worst QBR during that span. The guy can't throw the ball down.
Fans are losing it, begging for change. Analysts are screaming on live TV. And Kevin Stefanski, his response might as well be, focus? Never heard of it. This isn't just a sports debate anymore. This is a coach under fire, a team unraveling, and a city that's had enough. Every word from Canty felt like a headline waiting to explode. And Cleveland's front office? They're probably watching with sweaty palms right now. Canty couldn't take it anymore. You could see the exact second his patience vanished into thin air. One minute he's calmly breaking down plays, the next he's unloading a roast so brutal that the ESPN studio went dead silent. It felt like everyone just witnessed a live TV crime scene. Even the cameras hesitated to zoom in, probably scared of catching stray heat from the verbal explosion.
Like every day, every morning, every afternoon, every evening, there's something new to talk about. But this morning, on Unsportsmanlike, Get Up with Canty. Canty has some things to say about Kevin Stefanski, because basically, Canty has walked it back and has caught Kevin Stefanski in a red-handed lie. And he exposed him on national television for the lies that he was saying about Shadur Sanders and the quarterbacks.
And honestly, can anyone blame him? Cleveland's quarterback situation looks like a puzzle with half the pieces missing and the instructions written in hieroglyphics. Right now, you've got a starter who acts allergic to touchdowns, a backup glued to the bench like he's serving a suspension, and a coach treating his depth chart like it's a classified document from the Pentagon. Stefanski's running this team like a bad reality show. Call it the Bachelor Quarterback Edition. And once again, Shedeur Sanders didn't get the rose. That's when Chris Canty flipped the switch. He came in swinging with facts, fire, and that unmistakable, I'm done pretending this is normal energy. He called out the inconsistency, the pointless rotations, and Cleveland's strange habit of shooting itself in the foot every single season. The panel just froze. Not a peep, not a smirk. Because deep down, everyone knew he was spitting truth. This wasn't just a rant, this was therapy. Therapy for every fan who's ever watched the Browns take a season full of promise and turn it into a blooper reel. Let's be real, Stefanski's press conferences sound less like leadership and more like a GPS losing signal mid-route. Reporters ask about Shedeur, and he deflects like a hockey goalie in panic mode. That's not my focus, he says. Not your focus? Sir, you're coaching an NFL team, not teaching a yoga class. It's like he's trying to manifest a playoff berth using denial and deep breathing. The man talks about trusting the process, but at this point, even the process looks confused. Meanwhile, out on the field, Dillon Gabriel is out here rewriting the manual on how not to quarterback. We're talking turnovers, intentional groundings, safeties, the kind of plays that make highlight editors question their career choices. Every snap feels like a new entry in Cleveland's ongoing "how did this happen?" saga. Chris Canty wasn't exaggerating. He was saying what fans have been screaming for weeks. The Browns' offense isn't just broken, it's embarrassing. And if Stefanski doesn't figure it out soon, the only thing he'll be coaching is his own job security. Every Browns drive looks like a training camp drill gone completely rogue. 1 minute it's chaos, the next it's confusion, and the next it looks like somebody accidentally hit random play on Madden. If chaos were an official stat, Dillon Gabriel would be leading the league by miles. Chris Canty saw that disaster on tape and snapped. He straight up accused Kevin Stefanski of coaching like a man who doesn't even want the job anymore. And honestly, he might be on to something. Coaching the Browns has to feel like babysitting a blender, loud, unpredictable, and guaranteed to make a mess every time it's plugged in. You can see it in Stefanski's face. His body language practically screams, "Please, somebody trade me to sanity." But instead of taking accountability, he keeps doubling down on bad calls like he's allergic to common sense. Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders came into the league hungry, ready to work, ready to prove he's more than just a famous last name. And what does he get in return? A front row seat to incompetence. Canty wasn't having it. He went scorched earth mode on live TV and dragged the entire Browns organization through the mud. And he didn't do it politely. He said exactly what every frustrated fan in Cleveland's been yelling for weeks. If you're too scared to let the kid play, maybe you shouldn't be coaching at all. That wasn't just a hot take. That was a career wake-up call. Because when your quarterback room looks like a group project where nobody studied, somebody's got to take responsibility. And that somebody is Kevin Stefanski. But the craziest part, Cleveland's acting like everything's totally fine. They're running through quarterbacks like it's a clearance sale. Buy one, bench one, promote one, and forget the rest. They traded for one, dumped another, hyped up Shedeur Sanders, and then acted like he vanished into thin air. It's like watching a clown car pull up to the stadium. The door opens and you never know which quarterback's popping out next. If confusion were a coaching strategy, Stefanski would be undefeated. Instead of competing on the field, this team's competing in the front office for ego points. Forget touchdowns. This is about who wins the office politics Super Bowl. And spoiler alert, nobody's winning that trophy. Just imagine the toxic dynamic behind the scenes. The head coach doesn't want to play the GM's guy, so he keeps forcing his own favorite into the lineup like a stubborn dad refusing to stop and ask for directions. Every loss becomes another silent, "I told you so" from one side of the building to the other. Meanwhile, the players are caught in the middle, trying to survive the circus. One bad play and everyone's looking over their shoulder, wondering whose turn it is to get blamed next. It's not football anymore. It's a power struggle with helmets on. Chris Canty didn't just see a dysfunctional team, he saw a franchise at war with itself. And the scariest part, he might be the only one brave enough to say it out loud. It was a meltdown just waiting to happen. And when it finally did, it was loud. The Browns' locker room is split down the middle. Fans are losing faith faster than tickets sell at a playoff game. And Chris Canty's sitting on national TV turning Cleveland's dysfunction into primetime entertainment. And when he said the entire organization isn't on the same page, that wasn't shade. That was a straight-up public service announcement. Because you can't win football games when your front office and your sideline are playing tug-of-war with the team's future. It's like trying to drive a car while two people wrestle over the steering wheel. At some point, you're not steering anymore. You're crashing. And right now, Dillon Gabriel's stats are the wreckage. His QBR is lower than Cleveland's winter temperatures. His accuracy's so off he could miss a billboard, and his turnovers are so frequent they might as well be credited as assists for the other team. Every Sunday, defenses are lining up to face him like it's a highlight reel waiting to happen. Coordinators aren't even breaking a sweat. Gabriel's doing half their work for them. Fans can barely watch at this point, hands covering their eyes, peeking through fingers, praying the next throw doesn't land in enemy hands. But while all this chaos unfolds, Shedeur Sanders is stuck on ice. Locked out of opportunity like a star quarterback trapped in football purgatory. He's not getting snaps, he's not getting chances, he's not even getting answers. It's like the coaching staff stuffed him inside a break-in-case of miracle box. Every time the Browns' offense implodes, the cameras pan straight to Shedeur. Calm, composed, sitting there with that silent expression that screams, "You see in this?" He doesn't need to speak. The frustration's written all over his face. And the worst part, Stefanski's pride is dragging the entire team down. He doesn't want to be proven wrong, even if it means burning his own season to the ground just to protect his ego. That's not leadership. That's self-destruction. It's the kind of pride that turns promising coaches into punchlines overnight. Cleveland's not just losing games anymore. They're losing credibility. They've turned into the NFL's running joke, a weekly meme in motion. Every other team has game plans, structure, and identity. Meanwhile, the Browns are out here winging it like a high school drama club trying to remember their lines. Chris Canty didn't exaggerate. He diagnosed it. This isn't just bad football. It's organizational chaos at its finest. A franchise so tangled in pride and politics that it forgot what winning even looks like. Every other NFL coach has a plan, a vision, but Kevin Stefanski, he's got confusion, caffeine, and chaos on tap. The man's treating his quarterback situation like he's guessing a Wi-Fi password at a coffee shop. Let's try Gabriel again. Maybe this time it'll work. Spoiler alert, it never does. Chris Canty made sure the whole country saw through the act. He called Stefanski's decision-making nonsensical, clunky, and embarrassing. The unholy trinity of dysfunction. And when Canty was done, even the studio lights seemed dimmer, like they were exhausted too. Nobody on that panel wanted to follow that rant because when someone burns the house down with truth, what's left to say? Meanwhile, Browns fans were at home nodding so hard they probably strained their necks. You could almost hear them saying, "Finally, someone said it." Because this isn't new. This is Cleveland's identity. A franchise built on hype, heartbreak, and head-scratching decisions that would have gotten most teams shut down years ago. Canty didn't play nice, didn't sugarcoat it for TV, and definitely didn't deliver it with a smile. He spoke like a man who's had enough. Enough of watching mediocrity being packaged and sold as strategy. You could feel the frustration in his voice, the kind of fire that makes every loyal fan shout at the screen, "Preach!" It's the truth that's been echoing around Cleveland for years. The Browns aren't cursed, they're careless. Every season they build up hope, talk about turning the corner, and then slam into the same brick wall of bad play calling and ego-driven decisions. And somehow, Stefanski always finds a way to act like it's part of some mysterious long-term plan. Canty's words hit so hard that fans might as well start printing his face on t-shirts that read, "Finally, someone gets it," because he's not wrong. This entire mess could have been fixed by doing the simplest thing possible. Start Shadur Sanders. Give the kid a real shot. Let him sink or swim. Anything's better than drowning in denial week after week. But instead, Stefanski's out here coaching like playing Shadur would summon some kind of curse. Like starting the rookie might make the sky fall or his headset explode. The only curse Cleveland's got is Stefanski's stubborn play calling. Because every Sunday it's the same tire story on repeat. Different opponent, same meltdown. And the whole country's watching now. Not to see the Browns rise, but to witness how far they can fall before someone finally wakes up. Hope, confusion, meltdown, repeat. That's been the Cleveland Browns' whole season. A loop of chaos that even Chris Canty couldn't stomach anymore. On ESPN, he didn't just roast Kevin Stefanski. He diagnosed him. Canty straight up hinted that Stefanski might already be mentally checked out, done with the stress, ready to collect his final paycheck, and vanish quietly into the safety of coordinator life. And honestly, who could blame him? Coaching the Browns is like trying to build IKEA furniture with half the screws missing. Frustrating, endless, and guaranteed to end in yelling. But here's the thing. If you're gonna stay in Cleveland, at least try to build something. Don't just stare at the box, shrug, and call it leadership. Meanwhile, GM Andrew Berry's probably somewhere in the building, staring at the chaos on the field and wondering if he's accidentally wandered onto a hidden camera show. Imagine it. You draft Shedeur Sanders, sell fans the dream of a bright new era, and your head coach treats that dream like it's a myth. It's comedy and tragedy all rolled into one. Canty didn't just criticize, he exposed the operation. The politics, the poor planning, the pathetic excuses, all of it. What he delivered wasn't just a rant, it was a full-blown performance piece titled, "How Not to Run a Football Team." If the Browns ever decide to make a documentary about their dysfunction, ESPN won't even need to film. They can just replay that segment and roll the credits. But here's the kicker. This isn't just a Cleveland problem. Every league has that one franchise stuck in a loop of self-inflicted drama. The difference is, the Browns do it with more flair. They've turned dysfunction into performance art. And watching Chris Canty finally call them out was like watching someone flip the dinner table after years of awkward small talk. It was loud, messy, and absolutely necessary. Because this isn't just about one bad game or one quarterback decision. It's about accountability. It's about a coach owning his choices instead of hiding behind vague press conference phrases like staying the course. It's about a leader recognizing when his ego's getting in the way of his job. And most importantly, it's about trusting your young talent, letting your future actually take the field instead of wasting away on the bench while your offense crumbles in real time. Shedeur Sanders didn't come to Cleveland to hold a clipboard. He came to compete, and the longer he's held back, the worse this all looks. Chris Canty made that message impossible to ignore. His words echoed through every corner of the league. You could feel the unease ripple through the Browns facility like a storm warning. Because deep down, everyone knows he's right. Something's gotta give, and soon. You could feel the ripple effect the second Chris Canty's rant hit the airwaves. Within minutes, fans flooded social media, chanting Shadur Sanders' name like it was a protest rally. The hashtag exploded. Cleveland timelines turned into digital chaos. Analysts started firing off takes left and right, and even former players began chiming in, hinting that maybe, just maybe, the Browns are holding themselves back on purpose. It's wild how one well-aimed rant can shake an entire franchise. Canty's explosion wasn't just another ESPN moment. It was a wake-up call from every ex-player who's ever seen wasted talent rotting on the bench. It was tough love, ESPN style, and it landed harder than any tackle Canty ever made in his career. So now the million-dollar question, where does Cleveland go from here? They've got two options: wake up, start Shedeur, and finally give fans something worth cheering for. Or keep pretending everything's fine while the scoreboard keeps roasting them every Sunday. Because let's be real, if things keep heading this way, Kevin Stefanski won't have to focus anymore. He'll have plenty of time to meditate at home, with no headset, no game plan, and no team to ruin. And as for Shedeur Sanders, that kid deserves so much better. Better than locker room politics, better than the excuses, and definitely better than watching unqualified decisions steal his reps. The talent is there. The accuracy, the composure, the leadership, the hunger. Everything you want in a franchise quarterback is sitting right there on the sideline, collecting dust while the team burns through winnable games. All he needs is a coach who believes that potential belongs on the field, not buried behind bad play calling. Canty was one of the first to say it out loud, turning the spotlight exactly where it belonged. Not on the rookie learning the ropes, but on the coach tripping over them. And that's when things shifted. He didn't just criticize, he changed the conversation. Suddenly, the world wasn't questioning whether Shedeur was ready. They were questioning whether Cleveland was ready for him. Because once your dysfunction becomes a punchline, you've got two choices: fix it or live with it forever. And let's be honest, the Browns have been the NFL's running joke for way too long. Maybe this time, finally, someone inside that building takes the joke personally. Maybe this is the moment that embarrassment turns into action, and the franchise finally realizes that the future they've been hiding on the bench might just be the key to ending decades of misery. Cleveland's at a crossroads, the kind that decides futures, ends careers, and rewrites legacies. The fans have spoken, the analysts have spoken, and even the ex-players are screaming it from the rooftops. It's time for Shadur Sanders. No more hiding him behind excuses, no more pretending Dylan Gabriel's chaos is development, and no more acting like this locker room isn't falling apart in real time. Chris Canty's rant didn't just rattle the Browns, it cracked open everything the franchise has been trying to hide. He said what needed to be said, and now there's no going back. The world saw it. The league heard it. The truth is out. Kevin Stefanski's stubborn pride is holding this team hostage. This isn't about potential anymore. This is about proof. The fans don't want promises, they want progress. They want to see that spark, that confidence, that leadership, that raw fire that Shadur brings every time he steps near the field. Because deep down, everybody knows, the moment he finally gets that start, everything changes. But if Cleveland keeps ignoring the obvious, they're not just losing games, they're losing the locker room, the city, and the future. Every delay, every missed opportunity, every bad call is pushing this team closer to collapse, and you can feel it. That tension, that energy, that sense that something big's about to explode. Chris Canty might have just been the spark. Now it's up to the Browns to decide whether to light the path forward or burn the whole thing down. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just another chapter in Cleveland's endless drama. This is the breaking point. Either Shadur Sanders finally takes his rightful place and gives this city something to believe in again, or the Browns stay exactly where they've always been, the punchline of their own story. The fans are ready, the locker room's restless, the world's watching. And one decision, could flip the entire AFC North on its head. If Stefanski's smart, he'll stop overthinking and hand the keys to the kid. If not, then the chaos continues, and the rest of the league's gonna sit back, popcorn in hand, watching Cleveland self-destruct all over again. Because right now, the Browns don't need another press conference. They need accountability. They need someone with guts to admit what everyone already knows. Shedeur Sanders is the future, and the future's tired of waiting. This saga isn't over, it's just getting louder. Stay locked in, because the next move out of Cleveland could change everything. You're watching the storm unfold, only on Huddle Files, where the truth hits harder than any tackle. If this saga had you shook, wait until you see what's next. You already know what it is. Huddle Files got the real, raw, and unfiltered breakdowns. So don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to catch up.